Hi, this is Sarah Mikesell with the Poultry site, and today we're joined online by Pepijn van Unen. He is the sales director at Pharmsure International. Thanks for joining us today, Pepijn.
Thank you, Sarah, for the opportunity to be here.
Fantastic. And today, let's start out with kind of just an overview of your business for some of those folks who may not have heard of Pharmsure International. Tell me a little bit about the company and their role in the poultry health industry.
Of course, and we are an oddity in the animal health industry because unlike most players, we are solely dedicated to poultry health. And those are also our origins. Until now, we've been very Europe-centric. This will be changing, but we are better known for our product than as a company as such. Okay, so Pharmsure is identified, Pharmsure identified a niche in the European market quite a long time ago, and a niche that had not been explored by the big pharma companies. So we then set up and registered a live thermosensitive Mycoplasma synoviae vaccine, which is actually produced by a company called Bioproperties in Australia. It is a vaccine for long-living birds, meaning broiler breeders, layer breeders, commercial layers, and it is known in the world as VacSafe MS or as MSH strain. And then Pharmsure registered this product in the European Union way back in 2011. Here it's officially called the MSH vaccine. And when I say we are better known for, we're better known for MSH than as for being Pharmsure, but it does have Pharmsure branding. We've been selling it through a distribution network in Europe since 2012. It is available in all EU states, as well as United Kingdom and the Ukraine. With what I'm telling you, we are nearly one product company. We do some other things, but we are mainly known for MSH. This has some challenges, but it's also made us experts in avian mycoplasma. And many poultry vets, as we were saying before, might not recognize the Pharmsure name, but they do know the MSH vaccine. And at least in some European markets, I sometimes hear it's referred to as the Australian vaccine, which might delight our friends in Bioproperties. And things have changed since 2012 when we started. We've outgrown the niche that we identified. Market dynamics have changed so much that the interest and the actual need to control mycoplasma has grown.
Why is Mycoplasma synoviae such a challenge for modern poultry production?
Well, MS is highly contagious. It spreads both vertically and horizontally, and it causes respiratory disease and things like infectious synovitis, eggshell apex abnormalities. And the worst thing is an infected bird becomes a carrier for life. So it has always been a challenge for the industry, especially with co-infections. But its effect on production were somewhat suppressed by the use of antibiotics. However, as you'll know, Sarah, producing with antibiotics that's been changing over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And in Europe, antibiotic usage has been cut dramatically. So what happens now is that veterinarians are seeing an increase in clinical and subclinical signs of mycoplasma, especially when they have other respiratory or immunosuppressive diseases around.
So do you have any real data on prevalence of the disease?
There is data published in various markets. So most European prevalence studies show that up to 35% of broiler breeders are infected.
Yeah.
And it is way larger in commercial layers. We see numbers published as high as 95%,
Wow.
which is basically all your flocks.
Yeah.
It is incredibly difficult to keep your farms MS free with just biosecurity measures. That is why we believe vaccination is the only long-term prevention method that is more efficient and effective than the alternative, which is routine antimicrobial use. We cannot forget the welfare aspect of that also, meaning, we want to prevent instead of treat.
Your main product is MSH vaccine that you mentioned earlier. Can you tell us more about it?
Yes, and right now ours is still the only live mycoplasma OVA vaccine on the market. We've been selling it in Europe, as I also told you, for approximately 14 years. In Australia, it has been around since 1995. It has an impressive track record as the main tool for prevention of MS in breeder and layer flock, as it does not transmit vertically.
And so what is the value of MSH to a poultry producer?
Well, I think there's various, but the strength of MSH are most easily expressed by our market penetration and the number of veterinarians and poultry producers that have decided that vaccinating for MS is of strategic importance for their business and to keep their birds healthy. As for the real value, the producer will be seeing higher egg production, fewer second quality eggs, better eggshell quality, improved hatchability, improved FCR. It's basically the return of investment,
Right.
the reduction of the risk that you're taking if you're not vaccinating, and the knowledge that you're keeping your birds healthy.
And I would think a product like this would need a lot of good technical support.
It does. And I would say that our strength has been, or is, that we have a very committed distribution network that understands the industry and provides excellent service. We operate mainly, as we were saying, until now, we mainly operate in the EU, which is considered a common market, but I sometimes say it's not that common, meaning local knowledge is still very, very important. And as a small company, we need our partners to provide knowledge and local technical support. And we've made an enormous effort in finding distributors that we think can provide the local poultry industry with sound advice and deal with the particularities of MSH.
How is it different to other live vaccines?
Well, most vaccines are either freeze-dried or kept in dewars with liquid nitrogen. And ours, somewhat similar to Pfizer's COVID vaccine, if we're talking on a human scale. Yeah. Ours has to be kept at minus 70 degrees. Okay. At minus 70, it has an impressive 5-year shelf life. But at minus 20, that goes to 4 weeks. So that's only meant for storage on farm.
Got it.
What this implies is that we have to ship this product on dry ice from the production site in Australia all the way to the end customer. Mm-hmm. So this shipping goes in stages, as you can imagine, and the product is kept in ultra low temperature freezers. First at production site in Australia, down in our warehouses in Europe, and then at ultra low temperature freezers that our distributors have, who then also ship it out to final customer on dry ice. So as you can sort of sense, it's a difficult process logistically. It has bottlenecks. It requires a lot of planning, and thankfully we've become good at that, and so have our partners. Because obviously we want the vaccine to be delivered in the right conditions.
Have you ever encountered logistical difficulties? I mean, I can see that, I could see that happening, right? It's the planning and the timing of delivery, right? That's really critical, I would think.
Indeed. And we're actually, I mean, the veterinary pharmaceutical industry already has a problem with stockouts anyway, in general. And I'm very proud to say that we've been able to avoid those with MSH because we plan ahead, and it's easier as we only have one product. I did have a few sleepless nights during the COVID shutdowns.
Right,
Um, this product comes in on flights from Australia. Well, there were no flights from Australia.
right,
Yeah, or very few, very few.
right.
So fingers crossed, we were able to keep our farm supplied, but I have to say there was a little bit of luck involved.
Yeah,
And on a similar note, I would like to, well, thank our Ukrainian distributor because, well, obviously since 2022, we have no flights into Kiev or any other
right.
Ukrainian airports. So it's been very difficult to keep supplying into that country. So we have found an alternative route, and we are keeping this product at -70 there as well. And obviously they're running this mainly on generators because, as you know,
Right.
their electricity supply is difficult at this time. They really have gone the extra mile, and that's why I wanted to make a mention to them.
That's fantastic to hear. Everybody comes together when they need to, right? And
Yeah,
I've found over time that, the people in agriculture are innovative and they find ways to do things, right? They find ways to make things work. So that's fantastic. So
well, there
we'll move
is.
on. Go ahead.
No, I said, well, there is a time we want to step up, and this was definitely
Right.
one of those.
One of those times. We'll move on to the next question. How does MSH fit with the One Health initiative worldwide?
Well, the One Health concept obviously requires a unified approach by both human and animal health. And the average consumer, those outside our industry, still do not understand the steps that veterinary science has taken over the last few years to reduce the risk of antimicrobial resistance. We mentioned it before. Antibiotic usage has been reduced drastically in food producing animals, and I do think poultry's been leading the way.
Hmm.
So how does it fit? Well, vaccination has become the main driver to achieve this prevention instead of
Right.
treatment. So MSH fits right into that picture. I mean, your alternatives are macrolides or other antibiotics, and you no longer need those to control your mycoplasma problem if you vaccinate. And actually, once you have vaccinated, we would strongly recommend not to use any anti-mycoplasma agents because they could actually damage the vaccine and the efficacy of it.
Got it.
So in Western countries, we've also seen the demand shift to antibiotic free.
Right.
I'm sure you're seeing that in the US, and
Yes,
we
definitely.
do in Europe too. And obviously we are working towards, as an industry, we're working towards being more sustainable. It it's happening in eggs more than in other poultry products, I would say. And if we want to satisfy that demand, we will have to produce accordingly. So we cannot advocate the use of antibiotics. Uh, if treatment is required, yes, they still should be used. But with a good vaccination schedule, I think we're helping producers to reach those sustainability goals that the average consumer is looking for.
Right. Right. We're seeing that more and more, that consumer demand for all things that are connected to the One Health initiative. So, you made a comment that you're a nearly one product business. Is the company planning to expand into new products or markets? Tell us what's
Yes,
next. Yeah, where this is exciting times, huh?
it is indeed. And actually, we will be doing both. So our focus will continue to be on avian mycoplasma. That's our expertise. That's who we are. That's what we want to be known for. In Australia, our partner Bioproperties have recently registered a new mycoplasma gallisepticum vaccine. It's called MG304. We will be bringing that to Europe sometime in the future, and we will be offering a full mycoplasma package for our customers here. But in other markets, we've actually already started doing this. So we've registered an MS vaccine in Uzbekistan recently, but I would say our geographical expansion started back in 2023. We were made aware of a specific opportunity that we thought was worth pursuing, and we launched both Mycoplasma synoviae and Mycoplasma gallisepticum vaccines in Jordan. And since we've acquired quite a lot of knowledge about the poultry industry on the Arabian Peninsula, and we've recently made a strategic decision to expand there. So starting this year, 2026, we now have the rights for both these vaccines in other countries in the Middle East. We are still having some minor regulatory hurdles, but both the MS and the MG vaccines will be available in Saudi Arabia, Oman, UAE, and Kuwait in the next few weeks. And continuing along that line, Bioproperties has also entrusted us with developing the mycoplasma vaccine market in a big part of Africa. So big that it's stretching all the way from Algeria and Morocco up to Ghana and Nigeria. We are extremely excited about this. It is a complete new adventure for us, though. One in which we will have to get to know these poultry markets. These are markets that we currently do not have, full knowledge of, but we're definitely doing our best to acquire more and more of it. And we also need to get to know these markets to be able to give the right advice and make sure our supply chain works as well as it does in Europe. And I'm sure Africa will have its challenges. So our objective is build trust, build long-term relationships. And yes, we will be launching in some African countries this year, but it is a long-term plan. And our idea is that our mycoplasma expertise and these vaccines will be tools that will be available in Africa too. And, it won't only be a Western world product anymore. Because honestly, we believe that poultry producers everywhere should have the opportunity to protect their flocks and do so in a sustainable way. And antibiotic resistance is critical. And if it's critical in the West, it's definitely critical also in developing countries. And the Middle East and Africa are where there is rapid population growth. And their primary markets will have to be able to feed those people. So we are seeing, and we do expect, an increase in the poultry industry in these countries. And we want to be part of that adventure and make sure that the producers that are currently investing in production there will be able to be profitable and provide the right care.
Fantastic. I'm super excited about that part of the world as well, that Northern Africa and Middle East region. I was there twice last year covering conferences in that area, and the poultry production expansion in that area is incredible. And like you, I'm learning that market. It is an education process. They have a lot of the same issues I've found. But the expansion in that area is awesome. And And it's great to be able to provide a product like you were talking about, I think, as well, that's preventive, right? That's the right path we want to go down versus trying to use antibiotics to clean up a mess later. So that's fantastic. So anything else that you'd want to add, Pipine?
Not really, but it sounds like we'll be seeing each other at some events in
Yeah.
Africa this year.
I like that. I like that a lot. So thank you again for all the information. I really appreciate your time today. I learned a lot about your business and about your products. So that's what we're always after. So very good. Well, thanks again for your time.
Thank you, Sarah.
This is Sarah Mikesell with the Poultry Site.